Hello everyone. Thank you so much for joining me again today on another one of our Soapy Time adventures. My name is Lynette and I am the owner and master maker of the Skin Candy. Today we are making a soap called Sweater Weather. This is another version of Never Have I Ever, because I have never made Sweater Weather soap on this channel. I don't even remember if I made Sweater Weather at all soap. Anyway, this is a fragrance that is by Midwest Fragrance Company. There's many companies that have it, but this particular one is by Midwest. I'm going to be doing a hanger swirl. I thought I was going to be making a hanger swirl, but it ends up not being the way it's supposed to be. So the colors that I'm using today are Preppy Blue and Pumpkinhead. I am showing you right here the sweater that I found for an image to put on my body lotion, and I was trying to match the colors to go with that. And they matched really well until they got into the soap, and then the fragrance oil kind of morphed everything. So I have already mixed in my powdered goat's milk, kale and clay, and colloidal oats, and I'm going ahead and just mixing that in, making sure that I'm not too warm of a temperature. Usually when I go too warm with goat's milk, it does tend to make it heat up. My water solution is a 50-50 blend of distilled water and sodium hydroxide. I do master batch my oils. So I have not added my fragrance oil to this yet. On this fragrance oil, I did have a issue with the fragrance oil. I did not have enough of it, so I found another fragrance oil that matched almost perfectly. I had never used that fragrance oil before. It was from a company I think called Cocoon Candle Company. I do not know when I purchased the oil, probably within the last year, and I mixed it in there thinking everything would be fine. To the batch here, I've added titanium dioxide because my batter is quite yellow and I wanted to have more of a white look to the sweater instead of more of a yellowish creamy color. Now, I did not realize that the fragrance oil does discolor, and every fragrance oil I've looked at says that it does discolor. And here I'm adding the fragrance oils, and so far everything is fine. And this is where I should have just whisked it in and stuck it in my containers, in my soap molds, and called it a day. But no, we can't be that lucky. So I am mixing it up. It smells amazing. The scent notes are just, it smells like fresh, clean laundry. It smells like winter. It's a scent for all winter long. It's not just in Christmas time. I am going to have this throughout December and January in all of my retail locations and for my wholesale accounts, because it just, so good, so good. So I decided that I would give this, since it was so loose, I was worried about doing a hanger swirl with batter this loose, because usually it will muddle the colors. So I thought I would do a stick blend to it. That was mistake number 2. And the first mistake was me not adding it to my containers as soon as I got it in there. So far we're still looking okay. It's still pretty fluid, and silly me, I decide to stick blend it a third time. Yes, folks, a third time. So here we go. We're going to be adding it again, a third time. And what's going on here? Oh, so sorry. At this point, my white is okay. My blue is okay. But my orange is starting to get solid for some reason. I'm not sure why. Usually it's the white that gets solid, and it was getting thick, but not as thick. And I thought I needed my batter to all be the same consistency in order to get a good pour out of it. I don't know what I was thinking. This is what happens when you soap late at night. And of course, I'm adding more titanium dioxide. Yeah, why not add gasoline to a fire? So as you can see, it's getting really thick. That is a thick trace at that point, and things are starting to get warm. and I am noticing that, so I'm trying to get that in. I get the white in, and here we go with the orange. Yeah, look at that. Oh, it would not. I couldn't get it to loosen up. It was getting hot. It was actually hot to even touch. I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to do at this point. I do not work well on my feet. I have to have time to think about things and what I'm going to do next. I will never be a good person to have around in a crisis situation, that's for sure. So I am trying to get this to work. The blue still stayed great. I can't remember at this point. I think at this point the white is getting solid. And I am really just trying to figure out what to do. Oh, so my white hasn't gone completely solid yet, but it is getting pretty darn thick. If I had thought about this right, what I should have done is I should have just done layers. If it was going to get this thick, put the orange in first, let it get all solid because it was already solid, and then put my white and then my blue and do a layered soap. But no. Do you think I could have thought of that? No. I thought about it afterwards. And so now I'm going to try to make it worse. I'm going to try to mix it in with my hanger tool. I think you guys can see what's happening here. It's just a hot mess. The reason why I'm showing you guys this is because I want you to know that it is not always perfect in soapland. And that even as a professional soap maker, we still have soaps that fail. I will tell you it was because of the combining of the two fragrance oils together. The sweater weather that I have used from Midwest and Wholesale Supplies Plus, Just Scents, Flaming Candle, all the ones I've used so far since then. I did make another batch of soap after this, and I did not film it. I should have, but I just didn't have the time to get out all the equipment and just get it filming. But it was fine. I had plenty of time to work with it. It didn't thick up. It did darken. I am going to get some vanilla stabilizer because I am tired of the soaps discoloring. And it's not horrible, but I just wanted a white. I just want a white with my sweater weather. I don't know why. Maybe I need to come up with some different colors. If you guys have different colors you have in mind, let me know. Put it down in the comments. What are your favorite colors for sweaters? I am at a loss trying to figure out what to do. Right now, I am still trying to fix the soap. And as you can see now at this point, the blue has just crapped out on me. And now I'm just going to smear it on. The white was just too much at the top. I needed to put something there to, I don't know, I guess I thought help it. The one on the far right here is, wow. It's the lone, it's awful. This soap was such a tragedy. I had such high hopes for it, and I was so upset. But what's really funny is that my customers didn't notice anything wrong with it. They loved the smell. They loved the colors. They even loved the design. They liked the blocky print is what they said it was. So at the end, it turned out fabulous and great. And this goes to show you that you should not be so hard on yourself when you're making soaps. But at this point, I am really trying just to fix it, just to try to fix this baby. I did see a lady, I can't remember who it was, Forever Clean Soapworks maybe. I do follow a lot of soapers, and Forever Clean Soapworks, this lady is an absolute joy to watch and listen to. She's so funny. And she actually made a soap. It was, and she actually knew that it was going to do this to her. It was going to seize on her. It was like a frankincense and myrrh soap. And I think it was maybe an essential oil that she used instead of a fragrance oil. I'm not sure. But what she did is she put it in the mold and then she just walked off. And she came back about 10, 15 minutes later, and it had heated up to the point where it basically, almost like a hot process soap. It had turned into liquid, and she was able to get it molded and put into her molds and was able to make a beautiful soap out of it. So if you guys have not seen that, go check out Forever Clean Soapworks on YouTube. And she has, I think it's her frankincense soap. It was just a couple weeks ago that she wrote it. So after I had finally got it into the mold, I went and grabbed a little brownie spatula. I use this for scraping, but I decided to do a crosshatch because I needed something on the top of this. So I do have soap boxes, and my soap boxes have an opening at the top, so you can see the top of the soap and get a good smell. But I did feel like I needed something on the top, so I just took that and decided that a crosshatch would be fun. I usually do a crosshatch on my lemon and poppy seed soap, but it usually doesn't go into the soap. It's not an indentation. It's just, it brings it kind of to the top. And then after I'm done doing this, I'm not kidding you, it was a hot mess. There was soap everywhere. It was on I had to change my gloves. It was on my gloves. It was on my shirt. It was on my apron. It was all over the table. It was on the soap molds themselves, so I had to scrape them off. I had to wash everything down. And then I decided, I call this lipstick on a pig, but I added some glitter. So thought that would be a good thing. So this is literally only about probably 4 hours later. This to me seized up like my solid dish soap, or when I do my salt soap, my Coastal Waters sea salt soap. I had to get it out of the mold and get it cutting. It was actually still warm. I did have to put it, I can't remember if I had to stick it. I don't think I had to stick this one in the freezer, but it did get warm. And look at that block pattern. This was quite the soap adventure. I know what I need to do now. Well, one, I do not mix my fragrance oils. And two, when I do, I just need to hand stir it, get it poured in as soon as possible so I don't have to have this kind of tragedy happen again. But that's the first loaf. I think I've said this before in my videos, I take my end pieces and cut them in half, and then I put them in little sample boxes. So that's what I'm doing right there, is just cutting them now, because I knew that down the road, if I waited longer, I would not be able to get them cut. And I wasn't. It was so hard. They were so hard by the next day. It was really crazy. I never had anything like that happen to me with other than my sea salt soap and my solid dishwashing soaps. My solid dishwashing soaps it's something like 82% coconut oil. Yeah, look at all the holes on that baby. But my dishwashing soap is about 82% coconut oil. And so when I pour it, I actually pour it in a round mold and cut it out to fill my dishes for refills. And I have to actually cut it, and it's still quite warm when I cut it, or I can't get it cut the next day. Lots of holes in this. I did take some of the soap end pieces and fixed some of those holes, so they did look semi-attractive. I could have used a lot of the leftover soap. I probably could have used it for some soap dough and made some cute like soap dough flowers or something. But at this point, it was about 11 o'clock at night, and I just wanted to get this cut. If you can see the white, how it's already starting to turn that beige color. Yeah, it did go, it probably didn't get much worse than what you saw right there. But it turned out okay. I had a friend who came over, saw this soap, fell absolutely in love with it. She thought it was great. I put it in boxes, sold every bar, 27 bars of it, and couldn't be happier. I now have more out on the shelves, and it's selling like hotcakes again. One of the bars of soap I had a friend who wanted some little samples to put in some sample boxes for some Instagram influencers. And so I actually took a bar of the soap and I cut it into threes, and then I cut it into like 1 ounce or half ounce pieces and gave it to her. Customers loved it. It was just enough for them to use a couple of times, and they thought it was just gangbusters. They thought it was wonderful. Nobody thought that there was any problems. So it goes to tell you that don't be so hard on yourself if you're a soap maker or even some kind of a creator, that what you see as garbage may not necessarily be that way in somebody else's eyes. So that is everything I have for you guys today. Thank you so much for watching again today and joining me on another one of my Soapy Time adventures. And until next time, I'll see you later. Happy New Year. Bye-bye.